Welcome back, everyone. And again, we're going to be going over our New Kingdom IP, our intellectual property, and we're going over patent number 9. And this one is called IntegraScore. And it's a very powerful patent, especially in the age of AI taking over a lot of technology or a lot of tech jobs and things that we normally would have human eyes on. We don't anymore. And so things have really changed in the last several years. And so this particular patent becomes very important in that effort of quality control and, of course, ensuring that the things that are put out to the public meet certain standards. So IntegraScore is patent number 9 of 14 that we are covering here, and one of the New Kingdom patents. And it is an AI that scans code for license violations, security vulnerabilities, plagiarism. This is a big one because we found that this is one that is under reviewed, but is done much more than we may have realized. So plagiarism is a big one before they become lawsuits, and real-time compliance protection for every line of code that is shipped. So this is very much important for those that are in the development and utilization of LLM technology for development. So again, this you'll already see the theme here. We're always looking to protect you, the sovereign user. 23 claims that are in this particular patent. It's valued, again, using the same methodology that we use consistently across the board. We'll go over that here in a moment. Covers 100% of the code that is used, and it has a real-time analysis. So this is very important for going forward. Your code could bankrupt your company. And this is a very real thing going forward, as liability for things put out there in the public can come back to haunt those that own companies and what have you. So one line of GPL code in your proprietary software, one unpatched vulnerability, one copied function from Stack Overflow, and any one of these can cost millions in lawsuits, breaches, and destroyed reputation. And how many of us have seen news stories where that exact thing has occurred? The hidden liability in every code base. Modern developers copy code from Stack Overflow, use open source libraries, and let AI generate functions from scratch. Really not a smart idea. None of them check the license implications. That helpful code snippet, it might be a GPL license, which means your entire proprietary product could be forced open source. That AI generated function, it might be identical code from a lawsuit happy company's database or code base. Companies have paid 300 million plus in settlements for license violations they never knew existed. So security holes ship daily. Every dependency you import brings hundreds of transitive dependencies. Each one could contain known vulnerabilities. The Log4j vulnerability alone affected 93% of enterprise cloud environments. Most companies don't even know they were using Log4j. AI-generated code often includes deprecated functions, insecure patterns, and vulnerabilities that a human would catch, but no human reviews every line, right? So by the time you discover the breach, it's already cost you millions. So AI plagiarism is another problem, the coming wave, something that we can see coming, and that is going to be a major problem going forward. AI coding assistants are trained on billions of lines of code, and when they generate code for you, they often reproduce existing code verbatim. That code might be copyrighted. That code might be patented. That code might belong to your competitor. Courts have been fully resolved AI-generated code ownership yet. Haven't fully resolved AI code ownership yet, but lawsuits are already being filed. And without detection, you're shipping legal landmines in every release. So those that are developing, this is a big, big deal. IntegraScore is the complete code compliance solution, and it real-time scans to catches license violations, security vulnerabilities, and plagiarism before they ship. Integration with your existing workflow, protection that works automatically. So we have license compliance detection, automatically identifies GPL, MIT, Apache, BSD, and 50 plus additional license types. Flags incompatible license combinations, prevents copyright contamination of proprietary code. And of course, security vulnerability scanning is a huge one. How many have found many things that they're using didn't get properly scanned for security, and now their data is in the wind, right? So cross-referencing against CVE database in real time scans dependencies, trans-sensitive dependencies, and AI-generated code patterns, catches vulnerabilities before they ship. This is, again, before you ship it. Plagiarism detection is another one. Compares code against billions of open source functions, identifies verbatim copies and near matches, flags AI-generated code that reproduces existing implementations, and catches potential liability before you have it. Automated compliance reporting is another factor. It generates SBOM, software bill of materials, automatically, creates audit-ready compliance certificates, documents license obligations for legal teams. So this is important for the full rounding of your development portfolio and to ensure that you are in compliance. And development workflow integration is integrated with GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, scans on every commit, PR, and deployment, blocks risky code before it merges. So it works with CI and CD pipelines. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. That's for certain people. It does real-time analysis, so it does IDE plugins, provides instant feedback while coding. So this is, excuse me, huge for development and for designing. So again, those of you that don't know what these are for, don't worry about it. It's just for those that do, this is important. Flags issues before code even leaves your editor. Suggest compliant alternatives in real time. So 5 independent claims are included in our 23 claims of protection, establishing broad protection across license detection, security scanning, plagiarism detection, compliance reporting, and workflow integration. 18 dependent claims providing deep, narrow protection on specific implementations. So it's a well thought out patent that deals with some very specific issues that we're facing in our new high-tech era, which would be the wild, wild west were it not for those who are paying attention. A system of automatically detecting software license types and analyzing compatibility conflicts, comprising a code ingestion model that parses source files and identifies license indicators, a license pattern matching engine that compares against a database of 50 plus license signatures, and a conflict detection algorithm that maps license obligations and identifies incompatible combinations. So those that think they're going to be able to utilize technology without paying license fees and skipping patents are going to find out very quickly that they will be caught. And then, of course, they will meet the attorneys. License header is some of the core elements are the license header detection and parsing from source files, package manifest analysis, SPDX license identifier recognition and validation, copyleft propagation analysis across dependency trees, and multi-license compatibility matrix computation. So even those that are doing multi-licenses will be served, and real-time integration with version control. So for those of you that made sense to, you know the value. The systems of claims, of course, are outlined here. I won't go them too much further, but you can take a look at this technical implementation, and it is, again, real-time. It is real-time security vulnerability detection system for software coding comprising continuous CVE database synchronization, a module static code analysis engine for identifying vulnerable patterns. Imagine this in development platforms already installed that are already operational, and you can see the value. You will not be shipping code that is insecure. So this is a very important patent to add on, especially in a day when people may be running roughshod over intellectual property. So plagiarism and attribution detection is also important. And it's not something being addressed in the market. That's why we patented this solution. A code plagiarism detection system comprising of semantic code fingerprint module that generates structure invariant representation similarity search engine comparing against index open source repositories. Attribution tracing systems identify original source with confidence scoring. An AI generation detection module identifying machine generated code patterns and intellectual property risk assessment generator. So we are essentially telling you that the patent exists to ensure that IP is not violated and that it is properly utilized. Because after all, the reason for IP is not for it to be quarantined, but for it to be licensed and utilized properly. And so therefore, this type of patent and software accordingly make that a lot easier. And again, enforcement is much more important than any laws being passed. If there's no mechanisms for enforcement, then the laws become irrelevant. I'll say that one more time. Without enforcement, the laws are irrelevant. So we have an automated compliance documentation generator, which, of course, just as it describes, it will create the documents needed for compliance. And this is very, very important, again, for going forward. We've had a bit of a wild, wild west for AI and for LLMs, if you will. And I think even the LLM companies are now backing up and saying, we need a little bit more control and we need to slow this down. If you're a developer, use open source, you copy from Stack Overflow, you use AI coding assistants, and you have no idea what legal landmines are in your code base. And one day a cease and desist letter arrives, or worse, a lawsuit. A piece of code you copied 3 years ago turns out to be GPL licensed. And now your company's proprietary product might be, has to be open sourced. So again, knowing these things, incredibly important going forward. So IntegraScore is the solution for this type of nightmare, which again, those that are spending enormous amounts of money on development want this kind of protection. So this, of course, becomes very important for them. No more license nightmares. You'll know exactly what licenses are in your code. Get warned before you accidentally GPU your proprietary software. Sleep without security worries. So every known vulnerability is caught before it ships. You're not the next Log4j headline. And AI code you can trust. Know when AI generated code is copying existing implementations. Avoid the plagiarism lawsuits coming for AI users, and they are coming. You can bet on that. Audit ready always. When investors, acquirers, or regulators ask about compliance, you have documentation ready instantly. So you are audit ready. You are audit ready. I cannot emphasize that enough, how important that is going forward. So your executives can rest. This patent, of course, is estimated to be valued at about $420 million. And again, these valuations we'll talk about here in a moment when we go over to NewKingdom Financial. And IntegraScore is the AI that, or the system that essentially protects you from the lies that AI tells. AI wrote it, you shipped it, now you're being sued for it. AI generated code moves fast, but it carries hidden liabilities. License violations, security vulnerabilities, plagiarized code. IntegraScore scans before you ship, so the liability never reaches production, which is very important. AI writes your code fast. It doesn't check whether it's legally yours to use. So AI models train on billions of lines of code. And again, GPL, LGPL, AGPL, MIT, proprietary. When the AI generates code for you, it draws on all of it without regard for license terms. The results may include GPL license code in your commercial product, a violation that triggers mandatory open sourcing of your entire code base. Beyond licensing, AI-generated code regularly introduces security vulnerabilities, SQ injection patterns, exposed credentials, insecure dependencies that human developers would catch, but AI ships without hesitation. IntegraScore is the mandatory scan between AI output and production deployment, catching everything before it becomes your problem. So what is this patent meant for the individual? For you, ship AI code without fear. So if you are a private developer or an individual entrepreneur and you're building or developing, this is incredibly important for you and certainly important for a platform that you're utilizing. When you use AI to write code for your project, IntegraScore automatically scans it before it goes anywhere near production. License issues caught, security vulnerabilities flagged, plagiarism detected, and you ship with confidence. So every line of AI-generated code scanned before shipping. License violations caught, GPL contamination blocked, security vulnerabilities flagged before they reach users, and plagiarism detection, again, huge issue going forward. Confidence score on every code block. Trust is what you ship. So that's something that is very important, again, going forward in this hour, especially in the digital age. We need mechanisms for enforcement, not just after the fact. License compliance documented, security audit is passed, and liability is then removed. Enterprise using AI coding tools face a compliance blind spot. They're shipping code generated from training data with unknown license provenance. One GPL violation in a commercial code base can trigger mandatory disclosure of the entire source tree, eliminates AI code liability before it reaches production, audit trail of all scans. This is very important for a business. Demonstrable compliance documentation, integrates with existing CI and CD pipelines, and zero friction adoption. And again, this has now been patented. So trying to go around this will also create other issues, right? So don't do that. Come license it with us if you're interested. And for developers, well, it's real-time scanning, CD and CI integration, zero friction compliance. It's the smoothest way to solve that problem. IntegraScore operates as a code pipeline interceptor, scanning AI-generated code blocks in real time, classifying license types, and detecting security vulnerability patterns, identifying plagiarized segments, and generating compliance reports before code is committed. You just gotta love that. Okay? And so real-time scanning at generation time, not just at commit, license classification across 40 plus open source license types, security vulnerability pattern matching against CVE database, plagiarism detection with source attribution, and native CI and CD integration. So those houses that are using this type of software are going to be shipping a better quality of product. The end. Every developer using AI has unscanned code in production. Millions of developers ship AI-generated code daily. Almost none of it has been scanned. IntegraScore's patent covering the solution. So that, of course, is why it has value. That makes sense, right, guys? I mean, that's not hard for us to understand. And so again, development houses or platforms that are being used by individual developers, of course, are going to be of the type of companies and type of platforms that would license this technology. The lawsuits that haven't happened yet are what they're now going to suddenly be starting to deal with. And again, the law tends to catch up after a bit. The Wild Wild West gets a little bit of time, but after a while, the law comes and kind of catches up to them. And that's what's starting to happen right now, as many of you have begun to discern. You got a class action lawsuits against GitHub, Copilot, Samsung's internal ChatGPT data leak, and multiple GPL contamination cases are the early warnings the industry is building on a liability time bomb. When the first major enterprise is forced to open source a commercial product due to AI-introduced GPL contamination, IntegraScore will be the only patented scanning solution in existence. That's right. We patented it. And so it intercepts AI output, multi-layer scanning, and does a compliance report. So the compliance report is huge for AI companies, for platforms, and for developers, those that are going to be responsible for the product they put out. Let's take a look quickly at the financials on this. This was, of course, we go on over to NewKingdomFinancial.net for the financials on any one of the patents, and you'll find them all listed here. We're going to be going over all of them. If I haven't already covered them, I will be. So hang in there. Here we go with IntegraScore. It's right here. So we can go ahead and click on those for details, and you can see how that 420 is broken down. And so this not only gives you the methodology, several methods actually that are utilized for different valuations depending upon the segment of the market that is served by the technology. So again, it becomes something for people to review and for certainly for the basis upon which we license. So that gives you a understanding of patent number 9, right? So patent number 9, IntegraScore. Well, that's it. I hope that has been informative for those of you that are still following along and haven't glazed over. And we'll be back with patent number 10. Thanks again.
How you like me now? How you like me?